Hello, midlife mystic. What is good in your world? This is my very first video, and I thought what I would talk about and share from my experience on this very first video is about how I had to make peace with the times in my life that I abandoned myself. Now, I'm going to tell you, in my late 40s, I'm about to be 51, and in my late 40s, I noticed that I started getting really bitter and resentful, especially towards women that were in their 30s or even early 40s, sometimes even some 20-year-olds. I'm going to admit it. I was turning into the perimenopause type of monster, and I was getting really resentful because they had this bounce in their step. They had this energy and this hope and this vibration that I had lost. And I was very resentful because I was not living my truths. I was not living like more centered and aligned with who I truly wanted to be. And I was really miserable. I was really, really miserable. And on the outside, people didn't know it because I was showing up to work. I was a social worker, and I was doing other events, pop-ups. It was like reading tarot and doing limpias and all these different things and making essential oils. I was teaching Zumba classes, a personal trainer. So I was giving so much to other people, and I was putting on the front. And then when I would get home, I was just so miserable. And I noticed like even different aspects of my vitality, and I started to be one of those frumpy, kind of crabby, resentful midlife perimenopause monsters because I was so unhappy. And when I, at some point in time in 2020, I think it was 48, I had the courage to leave the relationship I was in. I was in a 17-year relationship, and I'm not talking smack about my ex, not at all. He's actually been a very good friend through this transition and these times. But I was unhappy. I was so catered to him, like everything was about him and his needs, and oh my gosh, and so there came a point in time where I was like, I know that I had to leave, right? And I had to leave my job. I just had to start over. And I did. I went to move with my mom. And one of the biggest things, because I was turning into that person, and I didn't want to be that person. But this is what happened is I had so much sorrow because the thing is I abandoned myself for so many years, and I didn't say yes to opportunities. Things came my way, but I didn't say yes to them because I was scared. I was scared of being seen. I was scared of showing up and shining bright. And I put other people's needs ahead of mine, primarily my relationship and either work needs and stuff, right? And so, one of the biggest things in order to really become centered and come home to myself and have the realization that I still have years ahead of me is I had to really make a lot of peace with my younger self. Like I had to forgive her for abandoning her. I had to forgive her for not allowing her to say yes to those opportunities. And for a long time, I had to really work through this. I was so sad. I was so sad because I was like, oh my gosh, to my younger self, I'm so sorry, and I had to really mourn that. And I did a lot of journaling, a lot of rituals around releasing. It wasn't like bada bing, bada boom. I wrote one letter to my younger self and I was healed. It was like a process and a journey. And I had to forgive myself. And I had to let my younger self know that I did the best that I could. And I had to go through that, and it took a series. I took over a year because continuously it would rise up inside of me, and I would just be so like, did I miss then FOMO? Did I miss any opportunity? Am I too old? I started then getting into that like, look at I'm old, and I has been and that's society stuff too, right? But that is one of the things that really has allowed me to come back into my center now as someone who's going to be 51 to be like, oh no, the show's not over. The show's not over till it's over. And to say, wait, I still have all these years left. And so mourning and offering forgiveness to my I keep on kissing the mic, to my past self, to my younger self, even my 40-year-old self, my 30-year-old self, my 20-year-old self. Like, I am so sorry. I had to do a lot of work. And that's why I was getting resentful and angry, right? Because I was like, felt my vitality was leaving, and I just was settling. I felt like I was settling, and I was like, I'm not going to go out like that. I cannot go out like that. It may be safe, but I'm settling, and I'm starting to be resentful of people around me, like people that I see in the mall, people that I see in the gym, because I'm not happy, and I don't want to be like that. And even when I made the change, like I said, it wasn't like I made the change, I made the move, and it was good. I had to do a lot of healing. So I don't know about you, but that's one of the biggest things that helped me to be like, feel very empowered as someone in their midlife, and to say, oh, I still have time left. Goddess is willing, right? I still have some time left. And what can I do now? What can I do? How can I learn? And how can I ensure that I say yes to opportunities that feel right, that I allow myself to be seen, that I allow myself to grow, to expand, to put myself in new circles and new places with new people? But it took time, and I had to allow that healing process to happen. That's one of the greatest things, that even if you get a therapist, and along with doing this work about writing to your younger self, dancing, allowing yourself to cry, is one of the greatest things that I think that we can do for ourselves as women in midlife, our midlife mystics, coming into our spiritual power and coming into this place of being like, man, you know what? It's just beginning. There's a whole nother phase. It's just beginning. And so that's what I wanted to share with you. I don't know what some of the things that maybe you've gone through and how you've had to heal in order to feel really empowered and ready to make the most, right? Make the changes that need to be made that maybe you were scared of in your 20s, 30s, and 40s, what you're ready to do now, and the tools and the rituals and the ways that you have healed in order to come fully present as a midlife mystic. I thank you so much for tuning in. I wanted to share that. I don't know what I'll share next week, but I'll share something and say cheers to this journey, right? And to really owning our power in this so-called midlife. All right. See you later, Mystic.